Hi, I'm Amos Restad. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Nursing. I teach in our traditional undergraduate program. I'm a CSS alumni twice over. I graduated with my bachelor's in nursing and a bachelor's in the arts in biology in 2010. And I graduated from our DNP program in 2019. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm a nurse educator. Hi. I participated in the spring break trip to Los Angeles. We stayed at Skid Row. We stayed in some suites in a homeless shelter. And each day we participated in various sites around the community. And each day we would come back to the shelter. We would eat dinner with the folks who were staying there, with the staff and the people who were staying at the shelter. And we debriefed each day. And after that trip, of course I graduated, thankfully. I did a year-long year of, what am I trying to say, post-grad volunteer services with the Vincentian Service Corps, part of the Catholic Charities, kind of a offset of AmeriCorps. So that high-impact practice led me to that first year. So my best friend from high school, I have known her for 30 years, so it's been a while. She knew she always wanted to be a nurse. I was like, whatever. So we took our nursing assistant course together in our senior year in high school and worked at a nursing home together. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, and at the time I was thinking maybe healthcare, maybe education, maybe med school, maybe something like that. Like, I'm not quite sure. I came to St. Scholastica, went to a ton of first year, like getting ready for med school, getting ready for PT school, getting ready for nursing, like career services day, healthcare days, and really taking advantage of the opportunities that were in front of me to learn more about what the opportunities were and how to get there. And one of the pieces of advice that I got was become a nursing assistant, okay, check. And secondly, consider working in a hospital, because you're gonna get a much more wide range of professions that you're going to work with, and you'll get a handle on what's for you. And so I did that. And I worked at Essentia Health St. Mary's in the ICU, which is a very different experience than working in a nursing home. And so already I'm able to compare and contrast those populations. And so after about a year, my sophomore year, I was like, well, the application for the nursing program is due. I'm not sure if I want to be a nurse yet, but I'll apply. I'll keep this biology degree because I've put so much work into it so far, and that's why I have the two. I don't regret it, but I don't know if I needed it. Fine. It's a fun tidbit. So I applied to the nursing program, got in, thought, well, I can always just walk away. I still haven't walked away. Still here, 13, 14, no, like 15 years later. And I continued to work as a nursing assistant until my junior year internship. Then it was just too much. I did some RA work and ended up doing a year of postgraduate volunteer service. The entire time I was in the nursing program, I knew I was like, ICU nursing, that's for me. I can see myself being an ICU nurse, but I was wise enough to know to leave my options open. 2014, I started applying to pharmacy school because pharmacy school seemed like the right thing. And I knew, well, I had taken the GRE, was looking at Masters in Public Health programs while I lived in LA, and I don't remember the process that led me off of that track, but whatever it was, thanks. So I applied to pharmacy school. I got in Colorado, got waitlisted at the U, but every interview I had, someone, usually a couple folks, said to me, okay, you've been a nurse for 4 or 5 years, why aren't you going to nurse practitioner school? So that's what got me back here to CSS as an adjunct. So my second semester of the DNP program, I did that. And at the time, they were looking at new innovative ways to get and retain nurse faculty. And they said, you know what? You're gonna be in this program for a few years. We like what you're doing. We've got the need. Why don't you come on full time? And I remember that being an incredibly difficult decision to leave the bedside. I loved what I did as an ICU nurse. It was a huge part of what I did, and it already cut down my hours to a 0.6 FTE, and I thought, oh, golly. So fortunately, I was at the point in my career where a lot of my peers, same age, same point in life, same point in your career, were leaving the bedside as well. My best friend, who did become a nurse, she had left the bedside for a management position. My manager had recently left the bedside, so I once again found myself going to people, asking questions, having conversations, never seeking a directive per se, but just more information, things to consider. And I decided to take the position, and now that I look back on that, it's wild. Like, duh, that was clearly the right move to leave the bedside, and I can't imagine not having made that decision. But it was hard, and I think I don't look back on that version of myself with any kind of like, what were you thinking? Like, no, respect the journey. Respect the journey, that is where I was at. So I came here, loved my work as a faculty. And so coming back to CSS, it was great. And this was 2021 into 2022, so we still had masks. It was the first year back from online. And it was really interesting to leave a place and come back to it where it was like some things hadn't changed and some things had. So I took that first semester especially, but really that first year to kind of reground myself, restore and recover from the previous 2 years. And even now this year, I've taught for 7-8 years, depending on how you slice it. I feel like this is the first time when I'm walking into an academic year feeling galvanized, ready, sure of myself, completely confident, let's do this. So that's taken like 7 or 8 years. But that's my winding journey that got me here to where I am today. Piece of advice that I would give to my college self is to be flexible. I was very open to the possibilities, I think. Maybe. I was open to the idea that there were possibilities. That's what it was. But at the end of the day, I felt like I wanted a list of things I needed to do to get to a point that I needed to be at in a very rigid and prescriptive manner. And that is not the case. That is not how that happened at all. And to be open and to push myself in different ways, to go on that LA trip, which led to a year of service learning, which really empowered me to do other things, including I just got back from the Philippines as a secondary faculty on that trip. Wow. You never know what things are going to pop up, what opportunities are going to present themselves to you. And the more that you can listen and observe those around you, the more information you're going to have to inform your decisions. But really be open to the possibilities that life has to offer you. You might not know you won't know what that looks like on the back end, and that's okay. That's okay. That's what I would say.